So I need to like deep clean my shelves because they're getting a little dusty. And when I do that, oh, this is crooked. Is that still crooked? That might still be crooked. Okay, anyway. And when I do that, I want to catalog all of these and finally put them in my bubblegum machine. But that means I want to do one last hurrah with the ones that are left in here before I put in all the other ones. I'll probably have to take out the ones that are already in there so there's no doubles, but I'll do one last go with these and then I'll clear it out and add all of those in. So I think I'm gonna do them one at a time, and I think I'll do maybe like 5. We'll see how I feel. Where did I put my quarter? Do I remember what's left in here? Absolutely not. No. Well, there should be, I mean, some of my oldest reads should be in here. So maybe I'll get some of those. I don't know how many of my paperback used bookstore books are in here. Yeah, I don't really know what's in here. So I have an inkling of what might be in here, but let's just start with number 1. And then as I finish them, I'll just start another one. Okay, first one. I'm turning it the wrong way. Something to my shoulder. All right, what do we have first? The Inheritance Games? Is that gonna load? Is that gonna load? Is that gonna focus? The Inheritance Games, I think, was actually a relatively recent one I got. I think I got that early last year at my library book sale. The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, which this one actually has, I remember, is it showing up? I guess somebody passed and their library was donated. If I were to die, I would also want all of my books to be stamped and then spread around. All right, well, I'll get started on this and get back to you once I've read some of it and have an idea of what's going on. Okay, well, I didn't quite hit the 100-page mark. I am 96 pages in and I'm going to be DNFing it. This is not my first Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I can't think of what it's called, but it's about debutantes. I think it was a duology. I enjoyed that one, but this is just too juvenile for me. I'm not having a great time, and I don't like that our character is a minor and she's interacting with a lot of men who are not. I mean, they're not that much older than her, but still, it's a little weird. There's a chance she might be related to them. Maybe, possibly. The whole premise is a girl who is poor gets a multi-billion-dollar inheritance from a man she doesn't know when this man's family doesn't get anything. They said something like, she gets the inheritance and they get her, which I don't know if I want to know what that means. So I heard it gets twisty. I heard there's a lot more that goes on. I don't care enough. I will be trying other things by Jennifer Lynn Barnes because they also have another series that I've been eyeballing and thinking about reading. But this is a no. I will be passing this along to somebody else who probably would really like to read it. What is my hair doing? Don't look at her. But since I DNF'd that one, that means it's time to pick another one. Until I guess I either go through all of these or I actually read 4 or 5 of them. Can't take that long, right? Oh, 6 Crimson Cranes. I have had that one for quite a while. I think that's a, is that Outcrate? I haven't had Outcrate in a very long time. I was wrong, it's Fairy Loot. And it actually is from a time when Fairy Loot used to do these like inverted stencil edges, and I really liked when they did those. I'm not a huge fan of the digital edges for most books. I like the really simple ones. I don't like gradients, but I like the simple stencils. Or if they're going to be digitally printed, that they're well done. Oh, and this is like foiling on it? This is pretty. A princess in exile, a shape-shifting dragon, 6 enchanted cranes, and an unspeakable curse. It says it will take more than magic to find their way home. Sounds fun. Yeah, I'm gonna go into this one blind. I was starting to read the little flap thing. I'm gonna go into this blind and just see how we go. So I will either come back with another DNF or an update. It is a different day. It's just 27 degrees outside and I live in South Florida, so I am cold and I don't really have a whole lot to handle that cold to wear. So you're gonna be seeing me in this a lot, at least until the cold snap is over. So 6 Crimson Cranes is about a Princess Shiori who, this is kind of, it's giving like Little Mermaid meets Cinderella. Her stepmother, she discovers one day, is like a sorceress of a kind, and magic is like forbidden in their world. She can also do magic, but she uses it to animate like paper birds. She's also betrothed. That is a plot point. I don't really know why it's a plot point so far or what the point is, but like she's betrothed, and I'm guessing it's gonna come up at some point, like why it's gonna be more important to the story at some point. But I'm only 30% of the way in. I'm not reading this copy. I'm reading a digital copy, so I'm like 28% of the way in. She discovers this is gonna be all over the place. She discovers her stepmother is a sorceress, and before she can tell her father about it, the sorceress curses her brothers, she has 6 brothers, into Crimson Cranes. 6 Crimson Cranes, which is the symbol of her family, and curses her so that if she says a single word, each word she says will kill one of her brothers. So she can't say anything. They're birds. And she essentially gets banished. I don't know if she's magically banished or she's just banished, but she gets banished. And now her only goal is to figure out how to get her brothers, or to find her brothers first because they're birds, but then turn them back into humans and break the curse, and also break her curse. And also she has a bowl on her head for some reason. Something about the walnut wood being magic. I'm a little iffy on the details. Also, there's a dragon. She met the dragon in literally the first chapter. She's drowning. This dragon saves her. This dragon shows up at a festival. They talk, they hang out, the dragon leaves. Apparently the dragon is going to come back at some point, and I'm assuming he will help with the whole curse situation, but I'm not there yet. So I will say in the first part of the book, I wasn't really feeling it, and I actually was like debating if I wanted to DNF yet another book, but I pushed through and I'm at the point where I'm having a good time now. Maybe not like a 4 or 5 star good kind of good time, but more like a 3-star good. We'll see what happens. I'm having a better time than I was. But since sometimes I like to have breaks from what I'm reading and I don't have anything else I'm reading at them, I am reading something else, but that's an audiobook and we're not going to talk about that. I'm going to pull another book to read like in between this one or when I need a break from this one. So 1 second. All right. So the in-between book hopefully isn't another like fairy tale retelling fantasy kind of deal, because then I might just get, if it's a little bit too similar, I'll just nix it and I'll finish Crimson Cranes and we'll see what happens. But hopefully it's different enough that I can like read both at the same time. All right, we have got, oh, Star Daughter, which is that gonna show up? That is a reread, actually, which I guess I meant to take out like the rereads I have in here after pulling Me Before You, because I wanted to read new books before I went back and started rereading old things. Guess I didn't do that correctly. I read Star Daughter probably when I got this edition of the book. This is this Fairy Loot? No, not Fairy Loot. This is Owl Crate. Oh yeah, Owl Crate. Okay. So this is an Owl Crate edition of the book, and when I first read this, I gave this 3 stars, but I kept it anyway because this is possibly one of my favorite covers of a book I've ever gotten. Like, it's purple, it's shiny, it's got a pretty girl on the front. What more could you want? But I wasn't that impressed by it. I kept it anyway. I still kind of want to keep it anyway for the cover, but I'm going to give it a reread to like solidify. If this is actually a 3-star, I'm going to debate getting rid of it, because I'm trying to keep books on my shelves that are like my favorites or nostalgic for me in some way, because Twilight is on there and Twilight is absolutely not my favorite, but like that was a wild ride when I was in high school, so I gotta keep it. It's one of the few books I still have from my high school days. So it's so pretty though. Like, this cover is gorgeous and it's purple. But yeah, okay, I'll reread this and see how I feel. And if it's still a 3-star, then it's still a 3-star. I finished both 6 Crimson Cranes, which I'm having a hell of a time saying, and Star Daughter at this point, but I'm getting ready for bed, so like I will update that at a later date. What I want to do now though is pick the next book so I can take it with me and read it on my break tomorrow. So 1 second. Oof, we have a whole new angle here. This might not have been my best idea, actually. I should have done it where I usually do it. All right. My vacuum is going in the background. I hope that's not too loud. Too late now. Ooh, okay. Anxious People. Hey, come on. Anxious People by Fredrik Backman. Okay. So I read Beartown by Fredrik Backman. Backman. Yeah, Backman. My bad. Fredrik Backman. I read Beartown by Fredrik Backman and I didn't like it like at all. People love Fredrik Backman so much that I was like, I should pick up another one and just see. Maybe I just wasn't really vibing with Beartown and that's just like an outlier for me. So I picked up Anxious People at my library's used book sale. I did a little haul and someone said, yeah, you shouldn't have gone with Anxious People. And I was like, shit. Okay, well, I'm here now. So if I don't like Anxious People, I'll give him one more try and then that'll be that. But I got to figure out what to read if I didn't like Beartown and I don't like Anxious People. This is assuming I don't like Anxious People. Maybe I'll like Anxious People. I don't know. But this is what I'm going to be reading. Oh, it's this Eve. So 6 Crimson Cranes, 2.5 stars. I think is what I settled on. No, 2 stars? I think it was just 2 stars. Okay, just plain old 2 stars. Just 2 stars. Okay. I did debate 2.5 at one point, and this was a 3 up to a certain point. I can't remember when, it just was. Then a 2.5, and then finally I settled on a 2. I thought the romance aspect of this was wholly unnecessary. And I think that's what really knocked down that last half point for me. The pacing was not good. And there were just some, I guess not side plots, they were part of the plot, but there were just some aspects of the story where I would sit there going, why are we doing this? Aren't we supposed to be like saving the brothers, or, you know, getting that bowl off your head or something like that? I like the ending to a certain point, but then it's also it's like a, okay, but why did you do it like that kind of aspect that wasn't really explained in a way that was satisfying to me. So overall 2 stars, which means I will be getting rid of this, and then I'm also getting rid of this, even though it's gorgeous. I love this cover. I love the sparkly. I love the colors. My sister's gonna like them, so. And then my reread of The Beautiful Star Daughter. Get a 2.5. I think that's where I got a little confused because I ended up giving this a 2.5. Previously it was actually a 3.5. I went back and read my review and I had given it 3.5, and I've knocked it down to a 2.5 because it's been, I don't even know how many years it's been since I last read this. How many years has it been? Wait, I can look it up. Oh, I read this in 2020. Wow. Anyway, so it's been 6 years since I've read this, and I've read a significant amount of books since then, and I think that just culminated in me being pretty bored by this. I still stand by my review that I gave it back when I gave it a 3.5. I still think it's a fun story. I don't think it was executed very well. I do enjoy, let me see how to say that real quick. Thakrar, Shveta. Oh, so Shveta Thakrar. Okay, so Shveta Thakrar. I do enjoy Shveta Thakrar's writing, and I'm not sure if they have anything else, but if they do, I'm probably going to check it out at some point. But this didn't hold up. It didn't hold up well in the first place, but since then I've become maybe not a harsher rater. I just have read more things that I hold in higher regard than I would this. So this is also going again to my sister. Did I explain what that was about? Sorry, I didn't explain what this was about. So the long short of it is the main character Sheetal, I think it's pronounced Sheetal. Sheetal. Okay, so Sheetal is half human, half star. Her mother comes from a legend of, much like actually Six Crimson Cranes, it has a lot to do with legend. Her mother is a star descended from the heavens who married her father, Sheetal's father, had her, and then left. It's not entirely explained. I mean, it's explained, but not like well. You're kind of left wondering why her mother left her and her father. But at the start of this, we have Sheetal, who is being called by the heavens, and she can't seem to stop it. She also is trying to dye her hair black because it's a shining silver, not like gray, it's like shining silver. She dyes it black, the dye doesn't stick. She's not sure why. It's a whole lot of stuff. And then she finds out that stars are like a muse, and they cause inspiration to people who are in contact with them, I guess. Which brings, you know, about her with a boy who, I probably shouldn't explain that. That's kind of a spoiler. Okay, so yeah, we're just following her, dealing with the heavens calling her father wanting her to have a normal life, you know, dealing with her mother and everything, and her journey into the heavens as she looks into the other side of her heritage. Rather than the human side, she looks into the star side, and we get that story. And that's basically the gist of it. And as for Anxious People, I am 62 pages into it, and so far I'm actually really enjoying it. Maybe not like a 5-star enjoyment, but I like it more than Beartown so far. Beartown had an aspect to it that I did not enjoy. That is not present so far in here, at least. So I'm having a better time with this. I like the dynamic between the son and father policeman. I think it's interesting how they go between, you know, bumbling father, whiny son, and sad father supporting son. It's an interesting dynamic, and I like all the different interviews with all the different people who are involved in this heist. Not a heist, it was a bank robbery. It wasn't a heist. There's a man tried to rob a bank, fled, and now they're trying to figure out where he went because they went into an apartment building that has no exits and they have no idea where he went. So I'll probably check back on this again when I finish. And actually I'm going to pull the next one, so I'm ready for it when I finish up or while I'm reading Anxious People. Oh. Like green, yellow green. All right, and you are The Ones We Burn. Is that YA? Why do I keep pulling YA? Can you focus, please? Okay, there we go. I think that's YA. I don't know why I'm getting, I guess it's just going to be a YA. Well, not a YA suite because Anxious People isn't YA. All right, The Ones We Burn, which I actually don't, I mean, I got it from a book box, a Fairy Loot. I like the foiling on this one though. I don't know if that's going to show up. I don't remember what this is. Very pretty. Hold on, very pretty art on the inside. Hold on. Very, very pretty art on the inside. Ooh. Oh, and then the cover. This is nice. Why do I not remember getting this one? Oh, and it's got a backside too. I don't know who these guys are. Okay, so I finished Ancient People and I gave it 3 stars, which I think is higher than what I gave Beartown. So far, going through with more of, why can't I say this? So far, going through more of Fredrik Backman's works is leading to higher ratings for me. So I'll probably give more of them a chance. Because I do enjoy the way he writes. I just don't always enjoy the way the plots are handled. I thought this one was pretty good though. Pretty funny. A little too long at the end. Plot twist was twisty. And yeah, I thought the plot of this one was fun. The whole heist, I keep calling it a heist. The whole hostage situation turned out to be much more interesting and funny than I thought it was going to be. Now, the ones we burn. First, I am going to be DNFing it. I got about 5% of the way in before I realized the writing style just really isn't for me, and I do not want to continue it, especially not right now because I'm on a medication that's making me very tired, and this is just not cutting it. And it's not like a soft DNF. I don't think past what the medication is doing to me, I'm going to be invested enough to really care about how this whole plot is going. What I got out of this was there is a witch whose magic stems from her blood, as in like period blood, and she doesn't want to be a witch. And she's called a blood witch, but she deals with death, so I don't know. I mean, I guess her power comes from her blood, but she's just like surrounded by death. So, and then also the controversy surrounding this one. I am neither Jewish nor Black, so take my words with a grain of salt, and please do not go by what I'm saying. Go out and look at reviews by Jewish people and Black people and take their word for it. Don't do anything with my words. I've seen people both for and against the accusations of anti-Semitism and racism, and obviously I'm more inclined to believe the reviews, not inclined, I am going to believe the reviews from Black people or Jewish people when it comes to these issues. So, you know, look into it yourself. Don't listen to me. I don't know shit. Look into it yourself, read the reviews, decide what you want to think about this book. I'm just here yapping. But that means I have nothing to read, so let's do another book pull. Also, yes, it is in fact still cold. I am still in the strawberry blanket hoodie. I'm cold. That's why, and it's also a reread. I thought I got rid of my rereads. Okay, what if I get out of this? Is that better? Can you see it now? Okay, it says Ava Lavender. I'm just struggling out here. All right, we've got The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender, which is a reread from, what year did I read this? Oh, and I rated it 5 stars. Wow, that's unusual for me. Oh, 2016, that's why I rated it 5 stars. I used to be a very lenient rater, especially in the early 2010s. So the reason I'm rereading this is because I don't remember anything about it, except Ava Lavender is strange and this is very poetic. But it must have hit me in some kind of way for me to give it 5 stars. Beautiful cover. Love the colors. Love the shiny. So we'll see how that goes. I guess this might be the last one I read for the whole TBR thing. We'll see how I feel after I finish this. Actually, wait, I'm gonna pull another one so I can read them in tandem because I keep doing that. And I might as well just do it now. And then I'll wrap everything up and that'll be like the last thing I read. I think this might be my last quarter. I'm gonna have to get them out again, which means because I used up all my quarters, I get to get a new book. That's how this works. I have 15 quarters, and when I've used up all 15 quarters, I get a new book. Have I been cheating? Yes. We're not gonna talk about it. It's another one of the spacey ones. I have a lot of those. All right. Oh. Okay, this is YA, but I've been meaning to reread the series since like 2011. The Iron Witch? The Iron Witch. Okay, I actually have the first 2 books, but it's The Iron Witch by Mahoney, and it's a trilogy that I never finished. I've read both of these, I think. I want to say like 2011, 2012. I can look it up. Wait a second. 2011. Yep, May 19th, 2011 is when I read this last. So I went to read and finish this series. Will I finish the series in this vlog? Probably not. But I'll keep this and the 3rd book on the back burner. Is there a novella? There might also be a novella on the back burner for when I get to them, but at least I have to read this one. If I remember that right, this was like Holly Black adjacent, where I didn't really like Holly Black's writing growing up. I read it because, you know, it was fae books and they were interesting, and Holly Black was like the fae writer. But I never really attached to Holly Black's writing. I think this was Holly Black adjacent for the times. She's gone on to write a bunch of other things, but at the times she was like the fae writer. We'll see how it holds up. Past me was right with this one. I ended up giving it a 4.5 star, giving it 4.5 stars instead of 5 stars because it felt like there was just something missing to it. Man, there was some parts of this book that just like hit me. And it is written very well. The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender is less about Ava Lavender herself and more about her family and their journey up to the point where Ava Lavender exists herself. Towards the end of the book, there was like a situation that I was not fond of. I wasn't thrilled about it, which is kind of why I dropped it down to a 0.5, but yeah, 4.5. I'm not really one for generational stories. This is a solid exception. I was invested from Maman and what was the husband's name? Beauregard, all the way up until Ava Lavender's mother, Vivian, was born, and then we get into Ava and her brother Henry. And the very first scene is Ava and Henry's birth, where you learn Ava is born with wings, and then you circle back and you go through the emigration of her great-grandfather and great-grandmother coming over to America, and then like everything that conspired from there to the point where Ava is, and then you get some of Ava's life, and just was good in a way that kind of hurt, but not in like a Hunger Games kind of hurt, just in like I don't really think I have anything to compare this to. I will be keeping this. This has held up. This, on the other hand, has not. It's a little bit hard to explain what this was about because the book itself doesn't quite I don't know. I wish I had like notes from when I first read it back in 2011 because I want to know what I was thinking at the time and if I connected pieces that I didn't connect in the first place. But essentially you're following Donna Underwood, who is not cursed, I guess, but like she has these metal tattoos all over her scars because she was attacked by a fae creature when she was young. The fae creature killed her father. Her mother went mad from it. She's now dealing with having these scars. She can't show anybody, so she wears gloves all the time. Works well because it's like the Y2K. She kept talking about her gloves and her scarves, and I'm like, oh yeah, that was high school for me. Not me. I didn't wear those because I lived in Florida. I live in Florida, and I lived in Florida at the time, and it was too hot for that. So I didn't dare do that, but you know, it was like the style at the time. But she belongs to the part that was confusing is she belongs to an alchemical, is that right? Order? The alchemists. But you don't really learn about that, except that she's learning about it. You don't learn what she's learning about exactly, except apparently she's learning about the Declaration of Independence. She's homeschooled. And she's homeschooled because she got kicked out of her previous school because she crushed a locker. She's got super strength because of these tattoos, yada yada. She's part of an order, and she's also aware of like fae because fae exists. I'm trying to think because there's like a spoilery element to something that happens that is like, I'm just not going to talk about that. Okay. She has to figure out how to get him back, and it ties back into the alchemical bits, but without really explaining either side completely. It's more focused on the romance. I think I was more focused on romance back in 2011, so that would make more sense. But now it was so focused on the romance, and I didn't care about the romance. I wanted more of like the plot of the background. So yeah, 2 stars. Originally 4, we're down to 2. I am going to continue the series though because I own the other one and I want to see what happens. I've never finished it. So that means we are all done with this one. I just realized the camera is like really low. I'm just going to deal with it and I can wrap up. So we've got a DNF, a 2-star, a 2.5 star, a 3-star, another DNF, a 4.5 star, and a 2-star, which is not bad. And that concludes everything from my gumball machine. I'm now going to go through, maybe not this week, I don't know, at some point I'm going to go through, get all of these in the gumball machine, and we'll start again with another gumball situation after I get through some of the library books I gotta get through. Cool. Thanks for watching. Bye.